Hey everyone, thanks for coming back. So in my last video I was talking about what non-op actually means and how I identify. I also was getting a little bit into the subject of alcohol abuse. And I bring this up because a huge fraction of transgender people going through gender dysphoria, there's a lot of drug use and alcoholism happening within the community, and that's a coping mechanism, right? That's a terrible coping mechanism. It's terrible. Yes, I will say it. I'm 33 now. I've started drinking later compared to some of my peers. I was about 18, 19, and at the age of 20 is when I realized I was trans. So they completely correlated. They went together. And I'll openly admit that was a reason that I started to abuse the alcohol, is because of how depressed that I felt about my whole situation. I didn't know what to do. And instead of trying to take care of it in a way that was healthy for me, I chose to abandon my own health, my own mental health, physical health, all of it. It was one of the worst decisions I could have made, is to start abusing drugs and alcohol. But I also know that things happen for a reason, and living with regrets is never a good thing. So I moved on. I did what was best for me. I quit drinking. I quit drinking in August of 2011. And I have to say that since I quit, my life has been just so much better, beyond anything I even imagined. Like, I imagined my life to be better, and that's something that helped encourage me to quit drinking. But it's way better than I imagined. And for the record, I'm not in AA, although I'm not against the idea of it. I am very spiritual, which of course is why I started the Trans Spirit channel. So I'm a spiritual human being, and I turn toward prayer and meditation, stretching, yoga, anything that's involves soul healing. The food that I eat, I love green smoothies. All that helps me to stay sober. The more self-love that I give myself, the better I feel. That's the inspiration right there to keep going with it. So that's what helps me a lot. It's not that easy though. I tried to quit drinking more times than I can count. I went to multiple rehabs, and I relapsed out of rehab. I finally got sober after watching some friends have some serious issues themselves with drugs and alcohol, and realizing I was having the same kind of issues. And I'd been contemplating it for a while, but after going on a binge again, I woke up and I was just sick beyond anything you'd want to know, and physically ill. And I said to myself, I can't live life like this anymore. There's more to life than this, and there certainly is. If you're struggling with drugs or alcohol, it's nothing to laugh about. It's nothing to shy away from. It can truly destroy your soul. What I've learned is they're called liquor spirits for a reason. A lot of people who practice spirituality will tell you that when a person drinks, especially if it's more so to self-medicate because, say, they're feeling sad or depressed, when a person drinks the spirits, a lot of times their soul it can't even handle the toxicity of the alcohol. And their soul just kind of leaves the body. And that's when the whole blackout happens. You feel like, have you ever blacked out before an alcohol? It's terrible. You don't remember what you're doing. You're doing very low vibrational acts that you would never do sober. Me, I would just eat as if I was, the stereotypical stoned on pot. I would eat. And I gained a lot of weight from that, of course. But I would just say terrible things, the whole bit. I mean, I'm sure you're thinking of somebody right now who drinks too much, that perhaps you know that you're thinking of the behaviors that they do from time to time or all the time. Yes, the spirits. So your spirit can't even handle that toxicity. And they say that, some people say, that the demons, they almost enter your body. Just demonic spirits. Maybe not even demons, but just your own personal demons. Just entities. You don't know what. Yes, I believe in the whole spiritual world, of course. And entities and spirit, all of it. So there you go on that. When I heard it described that way, as though your soul just kind of floats out and tethers and hovers above, there was a psychic, it was so interesting, talking about going into a bar and seeing all these very intoxicated people sitting up at the bar. And because she's clairvoyant and she can see these things, she just saw all of their spirits kind of tethering over their bodies while they just said and did terrible things they never would. You know, just maybe hitting on somebody you normally wouldn't, ended up in bed with them. Just stuff that your soul wouldn't permit you to do. That's why I don't do alcohol anymore. To me, alcohol, it's just rooted in a lot of evil, a lot of very low vibrational energy, negative energy. Some people can handle alcohol. Some people can have a couple drinks. But even then, so when the personality changes like that, it can be frustrating to know that you're not able to fully communicate with somebody as if they were sober. But, you know, different strokes for different folks, I suppose. Like I said, it took me a while. It took me many years. But I got there. It took me almost a decade of trying to quit, being in between, you know, drinking, not drinking, drinking, not drinking. It felt like insanity. It was insanity. I'm so thankful that it's over. And I continue to work toward keeping it being over, so to say, by doing that self-love, that self-work, concentrating on things that I love to do. I'm loving making videos. I love to write. I love to make music. I do those things. And it was weird at first because I used to do those things with alcohol, but then I remembered and I reminded myself, I had been writing and playing music way before I even touched alcohol. So it is possible. It's mind over matter. It's what we believe. If we believe we can't do something, we're not going to do it. I believed I could stop drinking, even though it felt like I couldn't. I believed I could. I asked God and my higher power to help me. And my prayers were answered. So I'm happy to be here today to share bits and pieces of my story, my whole story over time, in hopes to help anybody who is seeking help. This isn't just about being transgender, but it's about the things that we go through, just dealing with different obstacles in life. Mine was gender dysphoria. That was a huge obstacle in my life and a huge reason I started to drink. To be honest with you, I don't know if having a sex change would have changed my drinking habits. I have alcoholism running in my family, just in my blood. Whatever way it was supposed to go, I do believe everything happens for a reason, although sometimes it doesn't make any sense. If you need help, if you need to find help and it's just hard to do, or just you're your worst enemy and you're keeping yourself, you can get past that. I promise you. It will feel uncomfortable at first and you'll hate it. But once you start moving toward those steps of not self-destructing, of not drinking or using drugs, once you move closer and closer to a point of sobriety from those demons, you'll feel better and better. It will also be a huge form of encouragement for you, all in itself. It was for me, very much so. And I do have 6 years now, a little over 6 years, and it's just been fantastic. A lot of stuff's happened along the way. I lost one of my close friends to a heroin overdose. I watched my grandma go into the hospital when I first got sober. It has its challenges, it's life. But if you keep making excuses to keep using, it's never going to change. You're the one who has to make the change for life to be better and commit to it. And life will reward you. Your life will be so much better when you start learning to love yourself. My parents told me this years ago, and it took me about 27 or so years to listen. If you don't have anyone to help you, first off, my heart goes out to you. But you can help yourself. I assure you, there are places on the internet, numbers, emails, websites you can look up to where somebody will be willing to help you, facilities near where you live. Rehab does work. Although I relapsed out of rehab, it was a huge reason why I got sober. I learned a lot in there. So rehabs can work. AA can work, NA, all these programs, whatever works for you. That's what's most important, is that you do what works for you. I'd like to tell all the younger generations, especially, that please, if you're experiencing gender dysphoria and you're using drugs and alcohol to cope with it, please turn around. It did nothing but cause me grief for almost 10 years of my life. You can be happy being you. Even if you're surrounded by people that are just nasty and they're not letting you be yourself, you can move on from that space. You don't have to live there your whole life. Everything is temporary. There are times where I was around people that were ignorant or even mean about my whole situation being trans. I'm not around those people anymore. When you start treating yourself better, you will start attracting better people in your life, better situations. I assure you, it will be well worth it. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below or email me at transpiritindigo@gmail.com. I'd be more than happy to talk to you. Thanks again, everybody, for watching these videos. I'll be making more in the weeks to come about different topics. Have a great holiday week, everybody.